Hello, Boldly Boss and crew. This is Kay here, just in case you didn't know. And today we're going to talk about how to fix credit card utilization. This topic alone really took my credit score to the next level. Right now, I'm part of the 800 Club, and I want to discuss with you how you can do the same. So let's talk about a little bit about credit card utilization. But first, I always like to start with a little inspiration and end with the same. So some people see a wall and assume that's the end of their journey. Others see it and decide it's just the beginning. So if you think it's just the beginning, I know that we're all going through a tough time right now, but if you think it's just the beginning and there are many amazing things ahead, then stay with me and let's make some things happen. Who is this video for? Well, I have been helping people. This is like a passion for me, this credit game, okay? And so I've been informally helping people with their credit for quite some time. And now I am doing it more formally. I've started helping people with it on the side and just doing different things to help people and volunteering and helping people when I have the time as I continue to grow my knowledge as well. So I'm still on this journey as well, learning how to, now that I have this 800 plus score. It does fluctuate depending on my utilization for the month. But as I am on this journey and have this score, now what? What do I do with it? So I'm learning more strategies to leverage the credit that I do have, and I continue to learn things in order to keep what I have. So I'm on this amazing journey. I love it. I consume something about credit or finances every single day because I am a lifetime learner and a lifetime student. So this video is for specifically, I want to help entrepreneurs and moms, and not just moms, but single moms. I feel that entrepreneurs and moms are really the backbone of the community. And I want to empower people to confidently work on their credit score, confidently work on eliminating bad debt, to build a better financial future. Because if you have a good financial future as an entrepreneur and as a mom, as a single mom, then guess what? You can greatly impact the community. Okay. So that's what I believe. So, moms and entrepreneurs, I want to help you guys boldly boss up. And that just means to simply take control of your credit score, your bad debt, and your financial life. And I'm going to go ahead and move myself a little bit out the way and get into what is credit card utilization. So, credit card utilization, again, it took my score to the next level. So I want to help you be able to do that as well. So before we talk about that, let's talk about utilization as part of the bigger picture. I'm sure you've seen this pie chart before. Payment history is the largest at 35%. Utilization, 30% of your score is utilization, 30%. So we want to make sure our utilization is good. Credit inquiries, 10%. The total number of accounts you have, 10%. And then age of accounts, 15%. So I'm sure you've seen this chart before, but the part that we're going to be talking about today is a pretty big chunk. It's going to be the credit card utilization. All right. So now let's get into what is credit card utilization. It's really just how much of your credit you're actually using. That's it. It's very simple to calculate. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say that you have a credit card and you're in there, you've started building your profile, and a bank has given you $2,000. They've trusted you with $2,000 and you've spent 1,000. So you take the money that you've used or that you've spent divided by your total credit limit, and that is your utilization. So you spent 1,000, you've got 2,000 available. How much are you using? You're using 1,000. So your credit utilization is 50%. 50%. And why, when you start recording a video, that's when your nose starts itching? I don't get it, but it happens. So sorry about that. I wasn't picking my nose. I was itching. I was itching it. All right. So back to utilization. So 30% of your credit score is based on your utilization. That's 250 possible points out of 850 points. That is based on your utilization. So we want to make sure that we understand how to get this number right. Here is a chart that talks about your utilization and where you truly want your utilization to be. So if you've got a bunch of cards that are maxed out, let's say you've got that $2,000 limit and your credit utilization is 1,800, that is not a good utilization. You're going to be in the very poor area, okay? You want, with a 50% utilization, if you've used $1,000, you're here. You're in this poor area. Well, you're actually in this poor area because it's at 50%. So if it's less than $1,000, let's say, you're using less than that 1,000, and you use like 500, you'd be around here. But we want to do even better than that. Our goal is to be under 30% utilization so we can get into this good range here, okay? We want to be good. But the best, if you want to be excellent, 0 to 9% utilization. Let's keep that utilization intact, okay? So this is a snapshot. I think I took this yesterday, and this is of my utilization. Right now, it's at 3%, and I found that, so I have excellent utilization, but I found that like 2 to 3% is really my sweet spot where I'm getting like really high scores. So sometimes there's no rhyme or reason to why there might be days where my utilization is at 1% and my score is less than when it was at 2%. So this is still something I'm playing around with to try to understand better. But what I do know is that when your utilization is under 10%, it is going to help your score tremendously, tremendously. When you are under 30%, it's still good. But when you get under 10, that's when you will notice that your score jumps tremendously. There are really tiers to when I noticed that my score was jumping. But this snapshot, this is actually from Credit Karma, and Credit Karma is a Vantage score, but Credit Karma does show you how to show you what's good versus bad in your, when you're talking about your credit score. Like it'll say, oh, you've got 3 inquiries. Ooh, you're getting up there. You know, you've got a C when it comes to inquiries. So Credit Karma does help. So let me talk to you a little bit about some mistakes that I made during my credit journey and how you can hopefully avoid them. So first, my credit utilization was 30% overall. However, I had some cards that were at 60% utilization, and I had some cards that were at 10% utilization. So overall, my credit utilization was 30%, but my score wasn't really moving. I had hit a plateau and I wasn't sure why. You know, I could not break that 700 club. And I was paying on time. There was nothing negative on my report at that point. Because I had brought my score up. So my score has been all the way down in the dumps in the 500s. I think 538 was like my lowest when I remember sitting across at the dealership and I was like, and he says, oh, you have a 538, you know, your interest rate is going to be, 15%, your payment is going to be high and it's not even a new car. I mean, I remember thinking, man, I gotta do something. I gotta do something. Um, and so that's when I became more interested in credit. Was when mine was in the dumps. I had gone to when I was in college. I'd gotten they were offering free T-shirts, free pizza for credit, and I decided, hey, let me go get a free pizza. Don't have that much money, and I'm gonna go get it. Well, the people when you go to apply and you're 18 years old and you don't know any better, the people actually were filling out the application for me. They were like, okay, she told me exactly what to put. That representative on campus, it was like a visa rep, and they told me exactly what to put. He's like, oh, does your parents help you? And I'm like, well, I get student loans. And they were like, well, do your parents even help you with books? And I'm like, yeah, they do help me with books. And so they were like, okay, then put that you make 15,000 here and that you're a student, and then that you have this much discretionary income. They told me exactly what to put. I got approved for the card. I got my free pizza, and I figured, hey, I've got money on my card. I've got uh, money. If I've got a limit, I've got money. So of course, I was irresponsible. Went out and bought things that I couldn't afford, and maxed out my cards. End up not being able to pay back my cards. The story is typical. I'm sure that I'm not the only one. I was sued by credit card companies. I mean, I've been through it all. With my score being in the dumps and then learning how to build it back up. So again, utilization was a big part of that. So one thing that I learned is that utilization, overall utilization under 30% is great, but having each individual card under 30% is even better. So when I got each individual card under 30%, that's when I noticed an increase happening because each individual card was under 30%. I also noticed that more offers were coming in the mail. Once I got all of the cards under 30%, I was like, whoa, I'm getting offers every time I turn around. What's going on? How do they know? But they know. They're doing soft pulls on your credit. Their banks are looking at us all the time, whether we know it or not. Especially when we are opted into these third-party data aggregators. But that's a whole nother story. That's another video for another day. But another thing that I was missing is when I finally started learning about credit, I was paying off, let's say my statement balance was $1,000. So I was paying off that statement balance so that I was not paying interest, right? But I was still using my card. So when the bank went to report to the credit agency what my utilization was, there was still utilization on there because I was of the mindset that as long as I'm not paying interest, I'm in good shape. But that's not necessarily the case. It's based on what is reporting to the credit agency. So when you pay off your statement balance, but then if you go and charge it back up before that statement has closed, then you're going to have a high utilization that is reporting on your credit report. And remember, 30% of your score is your utilization. That's 250 points out of 850 points. So you want to make sure that you are paying down what you can by the statement close date so that your utilization reports, the bank is reporting your utilization correctly, the way you want it to be seen to the bank. Especially if you're going to apply for something, you want to make sure your utilization is as low as possible so you don't look desperate. A bank's job is to mitigate risk, okay? So they don't want to loan money to desperate people. So if your utilization is high, you look desperate. They don't like that, and they don't want to lend you money, okay? There are ways to get around that, but again, that's for another video. Today, we're just talking about utilization. A second mistake that I was making that was messing with my utilization is that I was using my personal credit for my business expenses. So I am a serial entrepreneur. I love business. Again, I think entrepreneurs are the backbone of our communities. Small business owners, we employ more people. throughout the nation than any one large company. We are very important to the economy and to the community. So I love business. I love business and creating businesses and trying to help people by creating different businesses. But the issue is I didn't know anything about business credit really. And so I was using my own personal credit, and it was creating very high utilizations depending on what business I was doing. So for instance, if I was running ads, then I'm using my own personal credit and I'd be maxing out cards to for ad spend to try to get the word out about a new business I had. And then that was causing my utilization to be high, which was causing my score to drop. Ugh, very bad. Not so good, not so good. So that is another thing that I was doing that was messing with my utilization. So don't do that. But in another video, I'll talk more about personal credit versus business credit. But for today, let's stick to utilization. So um, tips. Here are my tips. You want to, even if you pay a card off, you don't want to close the card. You want to keep it open because every card that you have open factors in to your utilization. So make sure that you're keeping cards open. If a card doesn't do a hard inquiry, request a credit limit increase from the bank. If they do a hard inquiry, sometimes it's not worth it, and you might be better off just going and getting another card. But if you can get them to do a soft pull only, which is where it doesn't show as a hard inquiry, like you are applying at the bank. So if it doesn't show a hard inquiry, like you're the one actually applying, and it shows just a soft inquiry, then maybe you ask for a credit limit increase at that point. If it's a soft pull and a soft inquiry, okay? Moving debt around so your utilization is right on every individual card. This was a big one for me. So for instance, you have one card that has 80% utilization and you have another one that's got 5% utilization or 0% utilization. Let's try to shift that balance. Do a balance transfer or do balance transfer checks or whatever you can do where the fee is minimal to try to get that debt shifted, okay? You want to use your cards, especially now in the times that we're in now. If you don't use it, a lot of times you lose it. So I had a business credit line that I was not using. I paid it off. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm doing good now. But then the bank said, oh, you don't need it. So I'm going to take our line back because right now is a risky time. As we know, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Banks, again, their job is to mitigate risk. So they say, wait a second, this woman is not using it. She doesn't need it. We're going to go ahead and take it back, so that in the future, I can go back and try to apply for it again. But they took it away because I wasn't using it. I had another client that was using their Chase card, but then they decided that they were going to pay it down because they got with their stimulus money, they paid it down. But then they maxed out another card, not even with Chase Bank. It was a different bank. They maxed that card out. Chase saw that they had maxed out because these banks, again, are checking on what we're doing all the time. So Chase noticed that she had maxed out a card at a different bank and decided to cut her Chase limit because of something that was happening at another bank. So you guys have to be careful with how you use the cards and knowing which cards to use when and what's happening because these banks are paying attention. So we need to make sure we're paying attention, okay, and know what we're doing. Make sure that you are paying off your card or paying down your utilization as much as you can before your statement close date. This is not your due date. So for instance, I have a Capital One card. My statement close date is October the 6th. but my statement due date is October the 3rd. So the statement closes on this particular card after the due date. So you want to make sure that you are paying what you can by the statement close date. Under 10% utilization, remember, this really helps you. This is going to help your score. So my first goal when I was doing this myself, and the journey was not easy, but it has been a lot of fun and I've learned so much. My first goal was to pay everything below 50% utilization. Once I got to 50% utilization, then my next goal was 30%, paying everything under 30%. Then once I got to 30%, then 10%, pay everything under 10%. And again, I found that my sweet spot is 2 to 3%. How did I pay it off? I got focused. I increased my income. I did whatever I could to increase my income so that I could put that extra money towards my debt, especially the consumer debt, more than the business debt. Because business debt, if I can take $1 of my credit limit and turn it into $3, which actually pays back off that credit card, then I'm in good shape. But with consumer debt, if you're just going out and you're buying food and you're buying clothes and you're buying all these things and you don't have a way to pay that money back, then you're going to be in a heap of doo-doo. So you got to make sure that you are have a way to pay that back. So I increased my income. You can also borrow money. I did that at one point. Borrowed money in order to pay it back. I took a loan, a very low interest loan, and used some of that money to pay off credit cards, and then turned around and used my income to pay that loan. But that's a whole different thing. You could do anything from borrowing from friends and family. You can do bridge loans. There's companies that will do short-term bridge loans to help you pay your credit card debt down, especially companies. There are companies like if you're going to try to get a loan with them, but you have to pay down your utilization first in order to qualify for a loan with them. They will um, give you a bridge loan. But normally these bridge loans you don't want because they're a very high percent interest rate. You can also do some other debt hacking things to pay down your utilization. You can use balance transfer checks to pay down your utilization, to transfer balances from one card to another. There are things you can do to get your utilization lower. If you have questions about something or any cool ideas about or things that you've done to lower your utilization, drop it in the comments below so we can help everybody. The other thing is try to pay your card. For me, like, I use my cards. I like to use my cards because if you don't use it, sometimes you lose it, like what we were talking about earlier. So I like to pay my cards off multiple times a month. So today I just paid off a card, but I know that this weekend is my best friend's birthday, so we're going to go out, we're going to have some fun. So of course, wearing masks, definitely wearing masks. I will be anyway. And so I want to make sure that I paid off my card today and I'll use it this weekend. And then when I get back next week, I'm going to pay it off again just to make sure it's paid off. So by that statement date, because I know that my statement date for this particular card is coming up on the 6th of the month. So I want to make sure that I pay it down before my statement close date so that it reports to the Bureau my utilization is 0% or 1% or 2%, whatever it is. So there you have it. And I didn't want to make this video too long, so let me speed things up. If you've liked what I've told you today about credit card utilization, how to fix your credit card utilization, what utilization you should go for, then I want you to hit that like button. Give me some thumbs up. You can't even see my other thumb. Where's it at? Where are my thumbs? Give me 2 thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And also let me know you subscribed and tell me what topics you want to discuss next. Let me help you. So subscribe. Also hit that notification bell so you don't miss a video on how to increase your credit score, how to eliminate bad debt. If you want to hear these things, I want to share them with you. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are a mama, if you're a single mama, you are definitely the type of person I want to help. So let's start this journey. Let's continue this journey together. I am here and ready to help. All right, so you know I like to end it off how I start, and that's with a pretty cool quote. So remember, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Don't complain. Remember, collaboration over competition is key. Your biggest competition is yourself. So now you keep boldly bossing up, take control of your credit, your debt, and your financial future. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, this is Kay, and I'm moving with purpose. My purpose is to help you increase your credit score. So now that I have said that, I hope to see you in the next video. Please subscribe to my channel and give this video one of these babies. One of these babies. All right, I'll see you next time.